Hey guys, Annie here. It's been a while since I last recorded a video where I spoke English throughout the whole thing, but this video will be an exception. Recently, there has been people asking me about whether I'm interested in starting a Patreon account. The thing is, and here's why I decided to record this video in English, Patreon is in English, as far as I know, that is. And since I'm quite unfamiliar with Patreon, I'm not sure if non-English speakers use it. So for now, I will start a Patreon account, but for trial purposes only due to my lack of understanding of it, at least for now. Since, as I mentioned before, I'm not familiar with Patreon yet, I created my rewards and tiers based off of other creators' profiles. How it works? Well, to be continued, I guess. But before that, as much as I can do for you is briefly explain how Patreon works, to my knowledge. Well, to my understanding of it, since I have no prior knowledge of being a patron or a creator, Patreon is kind of like a donation pool, or to put in better terms, raising money to achieve a goal, or more like an ongoing goal. As you can see, my goal here on Patreon is to raise money to purchase games, better specs for recording, gaming, etc. and, of course, somewhat be able to make a living. Well, at least just be able to fill up my tummy. But something tells me I'm expecting too much from myself, and I guess we'll touch on that once I get into talking about the rewards. Finally, the question you may be most concerned about: what do you get for supporting me? Now, I'm not familiar with Patreon, this fact I cannot emphasize more, so the rewards I've set are pretty much still in experimental stage, or beta stage, if that's what you want to call it. But without further ado, please allow me to briefly take you over the rewards. You may find on my Patreon profile two categories under the rewards section, first being the Seal Army and second, the Manatee Protectors. Of course, these titles may be misleading and may alter if necessary, but for now, let's get into details. If you decide to pledge $1 per cover, that means you'll be joining the Seal Army, in which you'll receive a high-quality WAV file of the cover. And if you decide to pledge $3 per cover, that means you're joining the Manatee Protectors. You will receive 2 WAV files in total, one being the high-quality WAV file of the cover and the other being the a cappella version. You'll also be getting an exclusive photo of one of my Seal plushies. Over time, these rewards and tiers may change. I might be adding some things, I might be taking out some things, but we'll see. Please keep in mind that if you have a budget, it is highly recommended to set the max amount of pledge you'd like to pledge per month. The way this works, to my knowledge, is that depending on how many creations I produce in a month, the amount you decide to pledge will alter. For example, if you're pledging $1 per cover and I make 2 covers this month, that means you will be paying $2. And if I make 3 covers the next month, you will be paying $3. So because the amount of covers I upload aren't consistent, it is highly recommended to set the max amount of pledge. If you have a budget, that is. If you are a non-English speaker or a Taiwan resident, please visit my Facebook. There will be a note where I break down the procedures in Chinese. If you have any questions, feel free to pop me an email or message me on Facebook. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. That's about it. Thanks for listening and feel free to join me on my Patreon adventure.